joy and freedom. That's the kingdom Jesus came to bring. But then at the end he says, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. So what's he talking about? Is there a second kingdom on the planet? There is a second kingdom on the planet. Right now, as we are in this room right now, there's two invisible forces battling. You might even sense it in yourself. You may be having reactions to what I'm saying. And you can sense there is a kingdom of love. And it's a kingdom that brings life and freedom. There's a way that women can live in the kingdom of love where when they're around you, they can feel protected and honored and valued and know that they're safe. Like that's the kind of man you can be. When you guys are in college next year, women are going to be looking for men that they can be safe when they're around. Women who know they're not going to get taken advantage of if they get too drunk or whatever. That's the kingdom of love. And then there's a kingdom of darkness. And I can tell you, because of my business, I see a lot of that. When my friend Sarah thought she was going to Florida for a modeling gig and ended up being pulled into the porn industry, that was the kingdom of darkness. When you hear stories of like Boko Haram or other stories where women are getting pulled out of their villages and bad things are happening to them, is that just because men are ignorant and they just don't understand that that's a bad idea? I think that's because there's a kingdom of darkness. Let me give you two examples of this. I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on in the Congo right now, but right now as we sit here, there are these militias in the Congo. And what they do is they raid villages because there it's like all rural out in the Congo. So there are these villages that are isolated from big cities. So they don't have meaningful police or protection. And what's happening there is these militias raid these villages, they kill most of the men, or torture them or whatever, and then they take the women back to their military camps. And the prettiest women they take back, and then they just abuse like crazy for 2 or 3 weeks until they're sick of them. And then they either kill them or kick them out of their military camps. And then what happens is these women, they try and go back to their villages, and do you think the villages let them back in? They don't, because they're seen as damaged goods. And so the villages spurn them. And so these women, if they survived, they were finding their way to some of the bigger cities. But when they get to the bigger cities, it was hard to get medical care. And so there was a guy there, he's the son, he has missionary parents. His name is Dennis Bucangary, and so his parents were missionaries. He went to school to be a physician. He was just kind of doing his thing as a physician, and he began learning about these women who were getting abused in these camps. And so he started treating them for free. And then once people knew he was treating them for free, they started bringing more and more of these women to him. Until finally, this is all he did. And so he got some of his friends, and they go out of hospital, and they got other guys who like to shoot things, and they gave them guns, and they patrol the hospital, because sometimes these militias come back because they're angry that these women are being taken care of. And what this doctor does is he delivers the babies that were often conceived when they were raped, and he cares for them. He does reconstructive surgery. In fact, he's seen as one of the world experts on doing reconstructive surgery for women who've been violated so badly. And he brings them literally back to life. So he was on CNN not long ago, and the guy from CNN was interviewing him. And there were these women were in the background, and they were in a group clapping and singing. And the guy from CNN said, what's going on here? I thought these were all victims of horrible violence. And he said they are. They're having a Bible study. They're worshiping God. So what's happening is these women's lives are being totally given back to them. So here's my question for you. So who brings the kingdom of love to the Congo right now? This guy, right? Dennis Bucangary. He is like in heaven's army. He's like Jesus is his captain, and he's bringing life and love to this place. And how about the kingdom of darkness and the kingdom of hell? The militias, right? So the reality is, you and I don't have to decide whether we're going to like join a militia and go rape women, right? That's not an option at St. Mary's, I'm guessing, right? There are no militias here. Is that true?